Welcome back, everybody! It is time for another sit-down video, and I've seen this somewhere, I don't remember, but I'm gonna do kind of like my current rates situation. I've seen this online and someone called it like what's on my nightstand, but it was just like current reads. And I want to do this because like I have not been good with reading recently. So I feel like to show you guys also what is going on currently, maybe I'm gonna put like a little update on my life situation in here as well. I'm gonna show you like my current reads. First one we're gonna start off with, which I cannot show you because it's on my phone. It's like a Kindle thing. Is like I don't have a Kindle, but I have the Kindle app. So I have been reading for such a long time and I stopped. But I started again recently. Animal Farm, which I feel like everyone has read in school, like something. I didn't. So yeah, I've been trying to get around to finishing that. I read that recently, 2-3 weeks ago on my train journey. I read a little bit of it. But yeah, I'm like more than halfway at this point. But I really want to finish this because it's not even that long of a book. And it has taken ages. Because I started it just like random while I was like, I think I was like at work or something, or like on my way to work, and I was very bored. So I just like looked in the Kindle app and I was like, oh, that's like short, it's a classic, so might as well read it. Yeah, well, have not finished since then. That's number one. But yeah, speaking of train journeys and not having read a lot and all that kind of stuff, let's do a quick what's happening in my life situation. So, I mean, I went to Paris and I was in Cologne to see my best friend. And I mean, I was in Paris with my best friend, but it was a lot of like going to Cologne, going back, going to Cologne, going back, and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of train journeys, I have to say, which could have been like good reading time, but like half the time I didn't have a book with me, or I was trying to do work because I had my laptop with me. But then one time the Wi-Fi didn't work, and the other time something else didn't work, and I was just like, yeah. So it was not as productive as I had hoped, but it is what it is, It was still good. And yeah, that was not, I think I mentioned that in a different video, but there was no reading wrap up for March because there was nothing to wrap up. I have not been reading, guys. Well, it is what it is. I mean, I have been reading now a little bit, like in April, and I'm really hoping to finish April good. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, March was horrific. I started a book or two, but I did not finish. Not even a single book. And I don't even know why, but the thing is I was like so excited. I think I might have said that in a video like at the beginning of the year where I was like, oh, like I'm so hopeful for March. Probably in my February wrap up, maybe. And I was like, oh, I'm so like excited for March and there's gonna be like so much time reading because I'm off uni and whatever. Yeah, well, life happened. I did not have so much time. I was working kind of like non-stop, and I had like things to do for uni still, like stuff to hand in. And so even if I wasn't doing anything for uni, like having in the back of my mind that I have to finish those assignments stressed me to an extent where I did not even want to read for fun. So I didn't read. I don't even know if I read like one single day, to be honest. Maybe. But yeah. So that has been a bit of a thing. Then, which kind of like transitions us to the next book that is still on my list, and that is When He Leaves You, which is kind of like a like the Instagram poetry thing, somewhat. And I took that to work a couple times in hopes to read it because it's like short pieces, so every time I'm without customers I could have read like 1 or 2 pages quick. I didn't, because at the end of the day I love my coworkers and we talk a lot and we yap a lot, and so either I didn't have time to read because it was like so busy, or I was just like having such a good time with my friends and coworkers that like I didn't even get around to it. I like prefer to not like be like, okay, let's stop the conversation, I'm gonna go and read in the corner, So yeah, that did not work. I was hoping to use this as like a pick-me-up. If you guys know me, you know I love to use those kinds of books because they're like so quick to read technically, as like a pick-me-up, because if I finish like one book, I'm very inclined to read more. But yeah, as you can see, it's not read. Not even close. So I'm very hoping to finish this month. Yeah. So that is currently on my nightstand. Then we have something that has been on my nightstand for so long, and it's not even a shitty book. I really do enjoy it. I read in it yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that, recently. Anyway, it is How to Fake It in Hollywood, and I might have shown this before, I don't know. Maybe that was even in my honorable mentions of February because I started it back then. Maybe go check it out, I don't know. But yeah, I'm like pretty close to being done. It is very nice. In the beginning I was kind of like, I don't know how to feel about it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, you know, we started, we good. And now it's kind of like at a point without wanting to spoil like so much. It's kind of at like, are they gonna push through or not situation. I'm very much hoping for them pushing through, but we'll see how it goes. But it's a romance book. At the end of the day, there's probably going to be a happy end, so they will probably push through. Yeah, so that is that. I literally need to finish it this month because that would be embarrassing to read on this for so long. Also, I'm like this close to finishing, so what am I doing? But yeah, this is like my number one priority right now because I need to finish something. Please. Please hold me accountable, guys. Please do. But yeah, honestly, it's lovely so far. Not my favorite book, like it's not horrible. I don't love it. It's like not like, oh my god, 5 stars, I have to read this 10 times, but it's also not like, ew. You know, very sweet. I like them. I feel like there's so many moments where I'm like, yes, please. And then there's moments where I'm like, guys, come on. You know, but it's good. Would probably recommend. Yeah, but I do need to finish this. This is a message to myself. Finish the damn book. Because like, what are we doing for so long here? And then I have something else on my list. And you're like, Miss Girl, why are we reading so many books at the same time? I don't know. It just happened. It just kind of happened. And now here we are. You know, now I'm in the midst of it and you are here with me. The next one is The Inheritance Games, which, funnily enough, I have had on my shelf the whole series, by the way. I just bought all 3 books. I was like, I don't even know, but like, I'm gonna get all of them. Kind of to also get like the same editions. That is also part of it, but yeah. So it's been on my shelf for ages. The thing with me is I love a good series. I really do. However, like sometimes it's like too much of a commitment because it's like if I start this now, I kind of want to, because I'm like very forgetful, and so I don't really have the option of like I'm reading this now and then next year I'm gonna read the next part, and then you know, so I kind of have to read them back to back so I remember like the context of like what happened before. And sometimes that is too much of a commitment, so I have not been doing this. Yeah, but I picked this up at my best friend's place. Like, this is my copy, but she had a copy of this, just the first part. I have all of them, as I said, but I was kind of like, we were like, let's go outside and read, and I had previously taken a trip back to my hometown, and I had packed everything I felt like I wasn't gonna need to take back home. So on like my last final trip back home, I wouldn't have so many things to carry with me, and we had not been reading like at all before, so I was like, we're probably gonna like not gonna read the next couple days. So I just like took my book home with like all of my book. That sounds like I had like 10 books. I had 2 books with me. So I took them home, and then on my way back while I was on the train, she was like, oh, like the weather is so nice, maybe we should read. And I was like, Miss Girl, I don't have any books anymore. So she was like, yeah, you can just read some of mine, the things we read, like very different things. And it was like obvious I wasn't gonna have enough time to finish it, so I was looking out for something we both have, which apparently we both have this. And I have read the first 9 chapters. I'm on chapter 10 so far. The chapters are very short, which I love, literally, because like it feels so good to be like, oh, I finished a chapter and I finished another one and another one. Like, for me, that's like very good. I love that because it kind of like, you know, the like happiness and like feeling accomplished after finishing a chapter is kind of like what gives me the energy to keep it going. And so far I like it. I mean, if you know anything about the series, it's about, what is her name? Avery. Her name is Avery. And she is not the most fortunate kid, but, you know, she's fine. And she randomly gets, like, approached by a lawyer who's like, oh yeah, this, like, guy died, and, like, you're in his will, and, like, whatever. And she's like, I didn't even know him. Like, what's going on? So she's expected to come there with all of his, like, family and stuff, and, like, so they can read out the will, because that was, like, part of the condition, that everybody is there and present and whatever. And so everyone gets a chunk, and she gets a lot of that chunk. Let's put it that way. Let's put it nicely. His family gets a good amount, and she gets a very big chunk of rune. And I haven't gone any further than that, but she's kind of, like, surprised because she didn't even know him. She's like, why am I getting so much of this, like, random dude I didn't know? But yeah, I'm very excited. Also, I'm so excited to see, because there's, like, I think it was, like, his grandsons, if I remember correctly. It's like 4 boys, and they are all, like, obviously they look like similar-ish, but just from what we've seen so far of them, they seem to be very different. And I'm so excited to hopefully see, like, how that turns out and how they will get along, and kind of the thing of, like, oh, she got more than we did situation. Sorry to spoil, but, you know. And so I don't know, and I feel like one of them she might have chemistry with, like, he was mentioned, like, all of them were mentioned early on, but I don't know. I'm so excited about this, honestly. I mean, I think there will be in there, because it's, like, a girl and 4 dudes on here, so that's probably all of the guys. But yeah, I love it. And my copy, it's not a sticker, by the way. I cannot take this off. It says the must-read TikTok sensation. And I remember when this was, like, so big on TikTok and everyone read it. And I think it was the reason I got it, because everyone was like, oh my god, that's so nice, and, like, whatever. And it was everywhere. And me, being the stupid little girl that I am sometimes, I was like, I'm just gonna get the whole series. Never read it until now. But yeah, I'm also kind of hoping, maybe, that if I finish this will, like, motivate me, like, a lot, and, like, just from, like, being intrigued, honestly, to read the other 2 parts, to kind of, like, you know, get some tempo in here, and finish some books. But yeah, that is what is currently on my nightstand, guys. Do you read, like, multiple books at the same time, kind of, or not? Because I know people that cannot do it, and I was that kind of person for a long time. Because I was like, I can barely remember one story. How am I supposed to kind of, like, remember and dissect different stories? And it's like, oh, this was, like, this book, and this was that book, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But now just kind of use it to, like, palate cleanse. Like, if I get bored of the book I'm reading, I'm not a fan of, like, DNFing books. And just because I'm bored right now also doesn't mean that I don't ever want to finish it. So I use, like, a different book to, like, palate cleanse, or, like, something where I know it's, like, quicker to read, like the poetry books and stuff, to, you know, get a bit of, like, action going, in hopes to, you know, keep it rolling and keep the books coming. But yeah, that was that, guys. That was my life update. Also, I have a new phone, which I cannot show you because I'm filming with it right now, because oh my days, I feel like I have not told this story. Maybe I have, I don't think so. You might have seen the Paris vlogs. Lovely, beautiful. Yeah, so basically on the last day of Paris, I have broken my camera, which is very sad, and I'm very much not happy about it. I did not cry yet so far. I feel like maybe it's gonna happen at some point, but it was like a mix, or still, I mean, now I've kind of, like, settled on, like, okay, it's, like, broken. That's it. I cannot do anything about it, really. However, in the first couple of days, and specifically the day it happened, it was, like, a mix of being, like, very sad, but also being, like, kind of mad at myself because I broke it with a 7-Up. Yeah, long story. Anyway, like, my whole 7-Up flooded my handbag, and my camera was in there with other things, but those were not as important, because it was, like, my what is it called, like, my cash and my cards, but I can, like, wipe the cards clean, and, like, you know, cash not that important in that scenario. Like, I don't know, like, everything else, or, like, my lipstick, or, like, whatever, is all of the things I could just, like, wash off. but not my camera. And she wasn't even that wet, like for the placement and how much, like how wet everything else was. I was kind of lucky with my camera, I thought, but she is still not working. And I do have my SD card, which works, which my friends, or like some of my friends have been like, but yeah, but like at least you got like your things and whatever, like your clips. But me being the person that I am, I saved all clips each night in Paris. So the only thing missing would have been the last day, which would have been sad, but not super crazy. And it was not the most eventful day anyway. So yeah, that happened. And my phone is not broken, my old phone. However, I am a very unlucky duck sometimes. And I've had this phone for, I don't want to lie, 3 years, maybe more. No, probably 3. And before that, it belonged to my best friend. She had it before me, so the phone has been working great, specifically in like the context of me doing my social media internships, or like my internship with it, and doing pictures for theater and all that kind of stuff, like my private Instagram, and I've been filming with it as well. When I was on the go, I didn't have my camera with me, or I had like a small bag, so I was like, I'm not going to take my camera, I'm just going to use my phone, whatever. So it's been doing God's work, and it is not broken. However, I have been meaning to get a new phone anyway for multiple reasons, because it's like kind of old and it started to like run hot while charging and all that kind of stuff. And also, technically, being sad about the camera and whatever is one thing. The issue is that usually I would just like substitute my phone for my camera to film, but it has been acting up for a while now, and when I film videos, it doesn't really correctly, like the audio doesn't really work. Like it does record audio, but it's like very like up and down and like whatever. And I don't want to put you guys through this. I have a couple times, because it took me a while until I noticed it was like actually a phone issue, and not because like it happened once or twice, but I thought it was because of like only background noise. It was not. I learned later on, but yeah, I didn't really want to do that, and I also did not want to stop filming. And I honestly, I've had it in my gut feeling for a while that my phone was not gonna last me very long, like max until the end of the year, if even. And so I just like took the chance now before buying a new camera or something, because I also don't have like unlimited money. I took the chance and just decided to get a new phone, which I have meant to do anyway, and now I can also use it to substitute my camera. So yeah, it is also very pretty. It's girly and pink, but that was not the main point for it to be girly and pink. It was also the cheapest one. Anyway, yeah, that was my like what's on my what is it called? What's on my nightstand? Current reads plus life update kind of. But yeah, I'm back to uni as well. I don't know, life is just busy. That is the bottom line. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this a little bit. I feel like this was so like messy and like, I don't know, all over the place, but that's just how I am. That's just what my life is. And I hope you still enjoy it. And let me know what you're reading currently. And yeah, that was that. I'm gonna see you in the next video.